what's funny is that like, I know there's a countdown. I can't see it. But the second you said that, my heart rate just shot through the fucking roof. Like every time we go live, it's just like, like you get like, you know, like when you're about to get on stage, your hands get sweaty. You know, like I've done like 50 fucking interviews and my hands still get sweaty. It's fucking bullshit.
And obviously, yeah, we're live. So yeah, I told you guys, I warned you in the post itself that you know, this guy's quick wit. He's hilarious. And but I mean, this is Jeff Miller. Let me go ahead and introduce his name. So and actually, he was just telling me a story. I guess you can call it in the green room, the back room, or whatever you want to call it. So before we actually came on live, he was telling me a story of how he just pitched a rabbi on social media marketing. So I'll let him actually go into that and tell the story, his background, and all that stuff. Yeah. So let's see.
It's weird. So like, if anyone, if you go on my personal page, like my goal is to make my Facebook page confirm and convert. Like, it's my sales page. That's just like, there's no difference between Jeff and Jeff that does Facebook ads. It's all Jeff, right? And because of it, like everyone on a purchasing spectrum for my services is like almost always reminded every time like I do something smart or driven, motivated. And I've got like 90-second marketing videos, and I've got the podcasting room. I've got like all this stuff, right? And so my mom sends me a text message like 3 days ago. She's like, I'm going to send you a rabbi. You better be nice. And I'm like, what does that mean, right? So I talked to him over the phone. And we talk about his problems and like historically and philosophically, like people don't care what you know or what you do. They just want their problem solved. That's it. And so we start trying to figure out his problems. We talk over the phone. He's like, look, Jeff, what I really need is like I just need to talk it out and figure it out. I was like, great, that's a strategy session. So like, why don't you just come into the office and we'll figure it out? He's like, great, fine, perfect, let's do it. And so for people who don't know, I've got like a little office set up, right? So I've got, you know, my whiteboard of yelling right over there. I've got like the desk and the chairs, and through there's like the podcasting room, which look kind of familiar. And we start talking. And the way I run my sessions is I try to have like a plan and a process, just like a plastic surgeon. Like when you go to sit down with a plastic surgeon, consultation, I can solve your problem costing this much. It makes sense. Like there's no unsurety of how it's supposed to go. So my pitch process is onboarding, program, selling top down. When do you want to start, right? And so we do the onboarding docs. And he starts talking about his problems and like the future and all that fun stuff, and where like he wants his congregation to go and like the upcoming trend 3, 4, 5 years and what everybody else is doing. And I constantly reinforced, help me understand this problem. Let me rephrase this problem. What if you did this? What does your best scenario look like? What's the end result that you're looking for? And then I wrote down everything he said, everything. Like when you're talking to an accountant or a plastic surgeon or a lawyer and they don't take notes, you feel like they're not doing their job. Like, why aren't you taking notes? It's a big fucking deal. Take more notes. So I just take an F ton of notes. I have like 6 pages of notes. Write down everything he says. And so at the end of the onboarding session, of which was like 15 questions, I transition into like the whiteboarding session, which is like, all right, I think I can solve these problems and definitely beat these numbers. Would you like to see a program that can help solve your problems? And they almost always say yes. Cool. And we start whiteboarding, and we start drawing out big squares, big circles, big dots, big like words and all that. And he starts talking about like his big trend that he's seeing now is that like his future congregation doesn't exist in his congregation right now. Like he has to go find them, give them a reason to come in, get off their butt and into his office. I was like, that's so funny because our program is called the Wallet Out, Ready to Buy Button See Customer campaign. So he whiteboarded a couple things. I said, my digital marketing journey is not too dissimilar than your journey. Like we're trying to find the next generation of digital marketers. They don't know about X. So like, you know, soap opera sequences or customer research or lead generation activities, things like that. And at the very least, I want these future digital marketers to know about it and then make a choice to not do it, because that's fundamentally different than not knowing it. Like if you know it, you don't do it, that's fine. Like I know about cold email, I hate it, I don't do it. That's different than saying I don't know anything about cold email. Normal, right? And I showed them the program and like the 90-second videos and like the course membership and all that fun stuff. And I said, look, is there anybody in your office that can like create, edit, script out, do all these 90-second videos? He's like, there's nobody, it's just me and like 3 or 4 other people. It's like, okay. Well, if you'd like, I can charge you an hourly consultation rate, $250 an hour, and walk you through and your staff the right way to do it. Here's everything that you get, blah, 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 blah. And he's like, look, I don't think anybody in my staff can do this. How much does it cost to just like get this thing done, to get the 90-second videos and the course membership and the Facebook ads, get everything set up? I said, it's going to be expensive. He says, yeah. All right, fine. How much? I said, it's $2,900 month to month, no long-term commitment. And he said, okay. I was like, great. When would you like to start? He says, today. I said, that means you're going to have to go get a check and bring it back. He says, you got it. Then he left, and now I'm waiting for him to bring back the check. So literally, like, I could be the CMO of a temple down the street and it'd be like, hey, everybody, my name is Jeff Miller's 90 Seconds About Judaism. Like all that stuff, like the same thing I do for my car washes, my bike shops, my digital marketing companies, like all that. Like I could be their unofficial spokesperson. And what's cool, by the way, is when you do that, you're no longer the Facebook ads guy, which if you're only the Facebook ads guy, you're replaceable. Like if you're just a plumber, you're replaceable. But if you're a plumber that can plan, strategy, understand, fix, if you can do all the other stuff like a puzzle piece, you're much harder to replace and you charge a lot more. And that's the same approach I take with my digital marketing. Like I don't do just Facebook ads, I do 6 other things. And so it's really, really hard to be undercut when everyone's sending cold emails just about Facebook ads. And I say, Mr. Johnson, it sounds great, but I don't do Facebook ads. I do all this other stuff. It just so happens that we do Facebook ads to move your needle, blah, blah, blah. And then they go, oh, okay. So I've kept my clients longer. I charge like 3 or 4 times as much. Like my bike shop, like he's paying $6,000 a month, jumping up and down. This guy's gonna be paying $3,000. Car wash guy was paying $15,000. Like it just works. So that was like a pretty cool experience that just happened like 2 hours ago. So yeah, there we go.
Yeah, that's pretty insane. And that you have people coming to you. That's what every agency. That's what every business owner wants. Just people coming to you. As far as like, hey, I want to use your business. I want you to help me. And the thing is, just as what he's saying, you really don't want to be focused on one thing. Now, let me ask you this question, because actually somebody just told me that, especially I guess beginning agency owners, which I do have a lot of those in my circle, in my group or whatever. So somebody told me is like, well, when you get into a deal, you don't want to pitch them too many services, because I guess they when you're sitting down in a deal, a lot of people don't know you, and they said that more people, or the more services you offer in a deal, then the less likelihood you are to sign up. I don't know if you can attest for that or not.
Yeah, so you want to have a program and have people make a decision about the program. Essentially, like when you bring in more variables, it causes more reasons to not say yes, more reasons I have to go back and check, more reasons I have to double check. Like, are you buying a Corvette today or not? Great. I can make a decision about buying a Corvette. Are you buying a Corvette, a Honda Civic, Ferrari, Rolls Royce? Oh my God, there's too many fucking options, right? What's interesting is they're all across a different pricing spectrum, which is how most people do their shit. Like, hey, random stranger, I know you got a Facebook ads problem, but how about you do Facebook ads, cold email, we do some 90-second marketing videos, we do some customer research, blah, blah, blah. You're like, no, that's not going to get you your intended result. You have to sell a thing. My thing is a wallet up, ready by button seat customer campaign. That's what I sell. And in it, I can solve your problems. What I've discovered is that when you're trying to sell too much stuff, confusion, non-clarity, I don't understand. But when you package it correctly, all of a sudden it makes a lot of fucking sense. Like nobody's going to buy wheels and a transmission and a hood, but they'll buy a car. So I sell a car, and it's just so that happens that Facebook ads is the gas for that car. And so when you're trying to sell all different parts and pieces that don't connect, don't make a narrative, aren't solving people's problems, that don't have an onboarding session, you end up being this like weird drug plastic surgeon saying, please let me cut your face. And then they're like, no, I don't know, get the fuck out of my office. And you're like, oh God, can I do it for free? Like, fuck you and your free trials. Like, no, not going to happen. You're selling too much stuff. It's too confusing. But what you need is to have like a solid, coherent plan. You need to do what Donald DeMiller talks about in Brand Story, which is, I am Yoda, you are Luke Skywalker, I will show you the path, here's the 7 steps you have to do, and that is called like your program. And so I have the wallet out, ready by button seat customer campaign. And if you aren't signing clients like 2-3K a month consistently, it's because for some reason your brain doesn't know how to do that correctly. And I've never run into a scenario where somebody says like, hey Jeff, I'm not gonna write you a check because you don't have case studies or results of previous experience. They say, hey Jeff, I'm not gonna write you a check because your program doesn't solve my problems, because we're not clear on the path, because you're asking for too much money. Like sometimes I ask for like 10K. They're like, I'm not paying you 10K. I'll pay you 2 or 3. And so like for up and coming digital marketers, especially like people who are in the Facebook ad space, they don't have a sales process. They don't go like onboarding docs, pitch, and then ask when they want to start. They do like, yeah, I can like, yeah, just kind of like fill out this form and you can get more stuff. Would you like to upgrade your order? Right? How about this and blah, blah, blah. And then as a function of you not properly addressing their goals, they say, no, I don't want to do it. Then you lower your price. Kind of like if you went to a plastic surgeon, again with the plastic surgery reference of like, hey, I've got a problem with my eye. And the plastic surgeon's like, would you like liposuction too? You're like, no, we got to talk about my eyes. Yeah, I know. I got your eyes. Yeah, we can do that. Would you like me to fix like other stuff? And you're like, no, we got to do my eye. And then at that point, you're saying, well, I don't want to fucking buy from you. get the fuck out. I don't trust you. I don't know you. I don't like you. You're not addressing my problems. You're not solving my problems. You didn't establish tribal language using the same words that I use to describe my problems. So I'm out, and the plastic surgeon says, well, how about I do it for half off? And you're like, no, I already said no, right? And so they just get out. So like, I just kind of ranted a bit, but that's the basic idea.
No, that's good. It's always good, when you rant, because obviously, even in a rant, we're learning information, and because actually, I'm kind of sitting here, taking notes and everything. And I met you at J.R. Rivas's conference in Atlanta. And I know you mentioned something as far as onboarding clients. I mean, what is the exact process? Because I thought it was kind of intriguing and interesting how you pretty much have your clients, the people, your companies you're working with, sign up, pretty much, I guess, give them a questionnaire and what they want and what they hope to get out of your services. And when there's any issues or anything, because all right. But I know Jeff tells them to actually. He tells them how many leads he's going to get them. It's like when we start getting these leads, it's like, do you have a system in place to onboard these leads? And then he has them, fill out this whole questionnaire. And then when there's issues or something, he'll pull out the questionnaire and tell them. It's like, and there it is right there. So he'll pull out the questionnaire and tell them. It's like, well, you said so-and-so, so-and-so. It's like, I told you, and I'm doing what I'm doing on my end. It's like, why are you not converting the leads like you said you're going to convert them? We're sending you this many leads. Why are they not converting? So I'll let him go into that.
Yeah. So like the basic challenge is that like you feel like you're too salesy, you're too slimy, or like you're too pitchy and all that. And the reason why you feel that way is because you have not gotten permission from somebody to pitch. And you don't actually pitch, you like show them behind the scenes, or like you pull back the curtains, here's how programs like this work. And so it's easier for you to demand a price when it's like, this is how the program works. This is how much it costs. Like a Lamborghini salesperson doesn't say like, oh, I built the car, I can charge whatever I want. No, the car costs fucking money, right? And that's all a function of bad onboarding. And so when you talk to a lawyer or a doctor or an accountant, they don't like say like, hey, did you want to like, just pay me and I'll do your taxes. You're like, no, that's fucking weird. Like, can we talk a little bit first? Like doctors have consultations, agencies have onboarding sessions. Makes sense, right? And so what I do is I have about a 15-minute conversation with my client. It's recorded. And I say, we're going to review this first and figure out if it makes sense to take the next step, if I can beat your numbers, and ultimately show you how much the start thing costs. And they say, great, fine, perfect, right? So that's the transition from onboarding to pitch. But in the onboarding questions, I usually say like, hey, Mr. Johnson, the way I run these sessions is I ask you a bunch of questions, and then we're going to see if it makes sense to take a next step. They say, great. And so some of the questions are like, so how many leads are you currently getting from your online marketing? And they tell me it's either 0 or 100. Like there's no like exact number. It's like, I don't know, 4 or like 1 billion. Like they never know, right? Which means if you know, you can provide clarity, and all of a sudden it's easy for them to stay month after month. How many of those leads turn to customers? Are we talking like you generate 4 leads a month, they all turn to customers? Are you generating 100 leads a month and 2 turn into customers? If that's the case, by the way, I've got an awesome soap opera sequence campaign that can reignite those old leads. How many leads do you expect in the next month, and have you closed Facebook ads before? And I have about 15 of these questions, which include who's your best closer and how fast do they respond to inquiries? Am I going to be sending you phone calls that ring off the hook, or am I sending you phone calls that are going to be picked up immediately? And they say, oh, we always pick the phone calls immediately. So I write it down, right? Like, and you always pick up the phone immediately, which by the way, is like when I then start sending them phone calls and they don't pick up immediately, and I send 5 in one day and their phone doesn't get picked up at all, I get to yell at them. You said you do it, but you didn't. So what the fuck? Like, I built this program specifically to work because of what you filled out here. This is what you said your part of the deal was. This is why your marketing isn't working. And so this is like a cover your ass type thing. I do it with all my clients, all my future clients. And when you do this correctly, a couple things happen. The first is that you get permission to pitch. Like, yeah, I can definitely meet or beat these numbers. The second is you develop an awesome fucking reputation with someone who knows what they're doing. And third is if you can actually meet or beat their numbers. So like this happened. This is the only time I've never done an onboarding session. I did it with a lawyer. And I was like, yeah, it's $2,900 a month. Sure, whatever. Close the deal with the phone. He's jumping up and down. Great. 5 minutes later, he sends a check or he just pays the invoice. And 2 months later, I find out that he's generating thousands of leads a month. Thousands. How am I going to beat that shit, right? He's got Facebook ads guys on staff, right? Like, why would I ever take that contract? I didn't know that I was set up for failure because I didn't do onboarding docs, right? Contrast that to the car wash, where I'm generating 10 to 15 customer opportunities a day. Their phone is ringing 4 to 5 times a day. And he says people pick up immediately. Guess what? Your staff has never picked up one fucking phone. Like, how about that, Mr. Johnson, right? And so once you establish the fact that we wrote it down, it's somewhat official, it's in stone kind of, and it's recorded, and I built a program based upon this, well, all of a sudden your chances of keeping your client are much, much higher. Like everybody wants Arnold Schwarzenegger as a trainer to slap the Taco Bell out of the mouth, right? Just like slap it out of the mouth, like no Taco Bell, and then drag them to the gym. The onboarding docs will let you do that. So I always do onboarding docs every single time. And then from there, I transition into the pitch, which kind of looks like that over there. I mean, it's always slightly different, but it's always like the 7 steps. And then I have my proposal right here. And then I say, when do you want your results to start? And they say tomorrow. I say, if that's the case, you're going to have to write them a check today. And then they say, okay. And then you start closing like, 2 to 3 deals a week at $2 to $3K a month. And fuck, you're doing $100,000 really fucking fast. So that kind of idea.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting that you say that, because I know you said you talked to a lawyer, you just talked to a rabbi, you talked to a car wash. So all these people are pretty much, in your business, in your agency, you're running ads for them, or doing some type of social media something for them. So how important is it because a lot of people talk about niching down. So if you're first starting out, do we need to niche down, or do we need to?
Don't niche. Niching is fucking stupid. Do not niche. It's absolutely worst thing you can do. Like when you niche, you tell half the world that you don't want to do business with them. Like, oh my God, I'm only doing Facebook ads for chiropractors. What about the 90 fucking other businesses that are within like 3 walking blocks of you? You saying you don't want to do business with them? No, I would do their business. So stop saying you do Facebook ads for chiropractors. Say you do Facebook ads. How about that, buddy? Like when you go to networking events and you're a normal human being, you're going to have 5 to 10 people saying, I have a problem with my Facebook ads. Can you check? And you go, oh, no, I only do Facebook ads for dentists. And they're like, it's fucking Facebook ads. What are you talking about, right? And so the whole strategy behind this is do business with as many people as you can. And then once you hit 20, 30, 40, 50K a month consistently, then you can start specializing it. You can call it niching if you want. I think niching is stupid. I think it's bad for you. And everybody that watches is going to be like, well, what about Jordan Parker that's doing $1 million fucking dollars a year? I go, yeah, what about 99 other people just like Jordan Parker that niched in the wrong fucking place? Like the second you niche, you're going to say, I only want to do Facebook ads for chiropractors. You're going to be watching all the dentists making a fuck ton of money. Oh God. All right. So I'm going to do Facebook ads for dentists. And then, you know what? All the gyms are going to be like Alex Hormozy. Fuck. And now you're doing Facebook ads for gyms. And you're bouncing between all three, thinking you have to be an expert to like, you have to like niche and blah, blah, get to deals. No, you don't. You don't need like case studies or previous results or experience to land a 2 to 3K month client. People in my fucking group are doing it all goddamn day. You just need to do onboarding, pitch, and then ask when they want to start. That's all you have to do. That's all you have to fucking have to do. Like nobody asks a cop for credentials. It's just how it works, right? Like it's just, you don't need to niche, and you shouldn't have to niche, and you don't want to niche, because the second you niche, your brain is going to say, what about the grass is greener over there? And the reason why you niche is because you think you have to be an expert and beat them at their own game. You're not going to beat somebody with 30 years of dentist experience. It's not going to happen. They don't want you to beat them. Let them be the fucking dentist expert. You just be good at Facebook ads. And by the way, you don't have to be great at Facebook ads. You just have to be not shitty, and then they'll pay you more money. So like, it's totally 100% doable. You should not be letting your shitty brain tell you that you have to be an expert, that you have to niche, nothing like that. Do business with normal human beings. I've got car washes, bike shops, child psychologists, fucking Rabbi. There's people in my group that are landing like, what's it called? Storage facilities. Like, it makes total sense. Like Steph Sine has like 15 massage spas. She just landed this like placement company that's paying her $4K a month to do Facebook ads. She's got 5 to 10 other clients outside of massage spas. And she's like, I don't know why people call me the massage spa lady, because I do other Facebook ads. Like, I'm not going to say no to money. And you shouldn't when you're starting out, but that's what you do when you say you're niching. So don't fucking niche. Go do Facebook ads. Date everybody, then figure out who you want to marry. That should be like your approach. And so that's my 2 cents. You know what I mean? That kind of idea.
And I know Dana just said, it says they consider you an expert as long as you know more things about them when you do Facebook ads.
Correct.
So actually, I want to be, I guess, kind of play a little skeptic here, and kind of pique your interest, get your thoughts on this, because as far as a lot of people say you need to niche down, especially in the beginning, because they say you need to figure out, I guess, a particular problem that a industry or a company has. So what are your thoughts on that?
So the problem that a company has is generating new customers. End of fucking discussion. Like generating new customers. They don't expect you to know like hydraulic nucleic acid on the inside of an E that's coming up in like 6 months. That's extra shit that like will happen when you're doing $500,000 a month. Don't fucking worry about that. Like you can get to 20, 30K a month. You can get your change my life forever dollar driven number. you can make like you can make $250,000 a year without niching and only doing business with people that you can like live, work, and play near. Like I'm looking at my landing page right now, which is where I put on my testimonials. So there's a guy who just signed a water tank company, right? That's not a niche, right? This guy signed a bike company. We got a local spa. We've got a 55 and over continuing retirement care community. We've got a med spa. We've got a yoga studio. We've got a car wash. We've got a liposuction person. We've got a Pilates. We've got a refrigeration company, an eyelash studio, a carpet cleaner. Like these are not niche conversations. These are normal fucking businesses. And there's no way in hell that you can get enough case studies or experience or results or whatever to land $1,000 a month eyelash studio, right? But for some reason, people watching this are saying, I need to have 30 years of experience and know all the fucking journals before I can get a dentist at $500 a month or $1,000 a month or $1,500. It's not true. It's not true at all. I signed a dentist at $2,200 without any previous results, case studies, or experience. The reason why people are not buying from you is because your sales process sucks. Like you don't know what the fuck you're doing. You don't know how to drive your car. If you know how to drive your car, you drive any fucking car, right? So you just have to like keep dating people until you find the one you want to get married. Keep dating your customers until you find the one that you want to niche. And don't even have a conversation about niching or specializing until you hit 20, 30, 40, 50K a month. And then, and only then can you begin to specialize and send out a signal to the universe that like, hey, we're doing like car wash ads. And here's what's cool, by the way. Niching is simply changing one fucking word in your pitch. That's it. Hey, everybody, my name is Jeff Miller. And I want to let you know that I generate between 30 and 40 customer opportunities a month for dentists in Miami. Guess what? You want to do a new niche? Hey, everybody, my name is Jeff Miller, and I want to let you know I generate 30, 40 customer opportunities for chiropractors every single month. You want to fucking niche again? Like, it's that, right? So, like, this whole, like, the fundamental problem in niching is, like, you think you have to be an expert. You don't. You think you have cases. You don't. You don't have to solve a particular problem for a business because there's already a problem with your business that's right next door to you, and you fucking know what it is. Like you don't have to eat one type of food, guys. There's a fucking farm around you. Like, just fucking eat. Go get a client. Like, it's not fundamentally difficult. And the problem is like when you say like I have to niche, it's because your brain is lying to you. Like there's just no other way around it. Like somebody signed a music company. There's a Pilates studio again, a vein and skin company. Some guy charged like $2,000 for funnels. A gym. Like all this shit is non-niching. It's do business with real life human beings, on board to figure out their problems, charge for solving their problems, and magically they'll pay you money every fucking time. So those kind of ideas.
Wow, that's kind of interesting you said that because that's the way I thought coming into the field and the agency. As far as everybody, I mean, you're generating leads for everybody. I mean, every company needs leads. I mean, you need leads for your business, you need leads for your agency. So every company needs leads. So as long as you're providing leads and finding leads for them, then you can pretty much generate your services to everybody or give your services to everybody. Yeah. So that's kind of the way, that's the way I thought about it. But then, I had other people telling me other things, and you hear all these other people like, well, yeah, you need to niche down, get case studies and all this stuff. You need to, find a particular type of company too. And I guess yeah.
How about you do a case study for a fucking rabbi? There's no fucking case studies for rabbis, right? Like there's no case studies for bike shops or car washes. Like you can't go to the case study store and buy a case study for a fucking vet clinic, right? Like it's not going to happen. And what's interesting, by the way, like you think like, oh, I'm just going to take something off the shelf and shove it into your business. You're going to pay me money. That's probably not true. Like you have to have an honest conversation with the people you want to do business with and to figure out their problems and create a program to solve it. As it turns out, it's called the Wallet Campaign for Me. Have your own fucking name. Don't take it. But like, just because you have a case study doesn't mean people will pay you money. Like, hey, Mr. Johnson, here's a case study on how like I generated 1,000 appointments for an eyelash studio. Do you want to pay me $200 a month? No, fuck off, internet person. And meanwhile, I'll come in and be like, hey, Mr. Johnson, nice to meet you. Oh, yeah, I know Mr. Alex down the street. That's so funny. I hear you're having Facebook ad problems. Can I show you how I generate 30 customer opportunities a month for like Mr. Johnson's vet clinic? But we'll do it for you for eyelashes. Are you sure that would work? Yeah, come on by. I'll show you. Hey, great. Onboarding session. What's your biggest problem with your business? My biggest problem with my business is not lead generation. Oh, look at that shit. My biggest problem is actually turning these leads into money. Well, isn't that funny? Because I've got a program that will not just generate leads, but actually turn them into money. Let me show you how it works. And then I land somebody at like $2,000 a month while the guy charging $200 a month can't do shit. And so it's because you have to have a conversation, which is like, God fucking forbid, you make money more than just by sending an email. But yeah, that type of stuff. That's how I usually end my rants.
And we had actually, I guess it was a thought. It says the reason why they ask for case studies is because they do not trust you. So
right.
how do you develop trust between them? I mean, obviously, yeah, I know you just mentioned, you say, yeah, we're helping so-and-so else down the street. Yeah. So how do you develop trust with somebody who doesn't even know you?
Yeah. So use your face, which is like what human beings have been using for a whole fucking existence. Like, use your face. Like, when you meet people in person, they will trust you. If you're a normal human being, put on your normal people skin, go to an in-person marketing event, go to a networking event, go to Chamber of Commerce, BNI, Meetup, Eventbrite, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Go and be a normal human being. Hey, my name is Jeff Miller. I'm starting a Facebook ad agency. I didn't say I'm an expert. I didn't say I'm running an agency. I didn't say I was growing. I'm starting a Facebook ad agency. Cool. Now when I fuck up, it's okay. I'm not expected to have all the information in the world. Just like if somebody said, like, hey, I'm starting an insurance agency. Oh, well, what didn't you know about blah, blah, blah? Fuck you. I'm starting an insurance agency. Jeff, how are you not the absolute Facebook ads expert and everything? I'm not, because I'm starting a Facebook ad agency. I'm starting a legal company, or whatever the fuck it is. I'm starting an accounting company. I'm starting a tax office. When you're starting out, you don't have to be an expert in everything. You just have to be a human being. And when you meet them in person and you let them bitch about their problems and they say you could solve them, they will know you and they will like you. They won't trust you yet, but they will trust your process. And so that's why you have like your 7 steps. I call it the Wallet Out campaign. Like, here's the 7 steps. We run customer research so we don't have to be experts in your niche. I don't have to be an expert in your specific thing. I have to be an expert in asking your future customers. Oh, no shit, right? Then Facebook ads and the rest of the 7 steps. So once you meet normal human beings in an in-person event, just like I met you, like, great, KTL, know, like, trust, really fucking fast. Make sure your profile confirms and converts. Make sure it doesn't look like a drunk surgeon. No fucking Trump shit. No fucking politics shit. Nothing about cats or memes. Facebook stuff. Makes total sense. When you meet people and all of a sudden they don't message you back, it's because they looked you up on Facebook and saw a message that was conflicting with the message you were sending them in person. The biggest reason why people that are starting an agency have drop-off rate, that's what it's called, like, they never signed, they never called back, they're ghosting me, is because they looked you up on the internet and they saw a big box of bullshit. So make sure your Facebook profile confirms and converts. Nobody's going to buy food from a skinny chef, and nobody's going to buy personal training from a fat personal trainer. Make sure your shit lines up. You know what I mean? And so when you go to real life human being events like Chamber of Commerce's BNI, pay $12. Just pay the $12 for lunch. It's probably shitty. Who gives a fuck? You're going to meet 30, 40, 50 human beings. You're going to say hi to all of them, and they're going to know you, right? And then they're going to look you on Facebook, so they're probably going to like you or trust you. And then once you show them a program, it's not about trusting you. It's about trusting the program. Like, I don't have to fucking like my Honda dealer because it's a fucking Honda, right? I don't have to like the Lamborghini car salesperson because I'm buying a Lamborghini. I don't have to like the Express person because it's Express. So have a thing. Like, have that. And mine's the Wallet Out campaign. Shit, you can name it whatever the fuck you want. But just show them how the program works and then say, like, you're probably wondering how much this darn thing costs. They're going to say yes, and you tell them. And then they pay you money. Like, that's why I record all my pitch meetings, so that I can like show it. Like, I record the Rabbi pitch meeting. It's going in my group later today. Like, I've got the car wash and all that shit. Cause like I tell people about it, they have no fucking idea what I mean. Like, just watch the video. And so, yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Videos tell all. But I mean, I don't know how much. I mean, if you guys are finding value, put a 2 in the comments, put a hashtag ABM, always be moving. That's our motto here in my group. So the thing is, he just gave you guys a lot of Dalen says he couldn't agree more. He says, use social media for profit, not pleasure. Social media is your business card. Yeah, that's what I wanted to touch on too. He's giving you guys, I guess he just gave a lot of value in there. First, he told you pretty much how you can go out and acquire leads. He said, go to a BNI, go to, different business events. So there's your lead acquisition. And then he said, even with profile, that's how leads come to you, as far as, how you optimize your profile. You make sure that whatever your message is, that you're reaching out to, not just, well, in his terms, not just one particular niche or one particular company, not just to dentists or not just to chiropractors, not just to one niche, but just reach out to all business owners and let them know that you can bring them leads. And I mean, that's just a lot of value that he is giving. So if you want to reach out to him, and hashtag every always be moving. So
the protein powder is everywhere. I spilled it all over.
Well, that's pretty interesting. So obviously you see that Jeff is always moving. I mean, he's moved like 5 or 6 different times. He's been in and out of the frame.
I've got a desk bike. So like, this is my stand-up desk, and now I'm pedaling on my bike, right? So like, when I'm on my conference calls that take too long, I'm not fucking sitting, right? That's gonna hurt your lower back, ruin your brain. I'm just on my desk bike pedaling away. I did like 200 calories today so far. Just kind of like keep going like this, but it looks weird on a conference call because then I end up doing this shit. But yeah.
That's fine if you want to pedal, man. We don't care. That's, as long as you're moving, as long as you're doing something, that's what it's all about. But so that's not coffee in your cup. It's just what, protein?
It's coffee. It's a little bit of coffee, mostly hot water. I just choked my coffee. Then there's vitamin C because I feel like I'm getting sick, and then a protein powder that's vegetarian. But it looks absolutely horrible. It looks like there's a fungus in my cup. Like the color is so bad, it's horrible.
What's it taste like?
It tastes the grossest thing I've ever had in my life. Like, do not do this. It's so bad.
So that means it's healthy then. If the worse it gets, the healthier it is for your body.
And then I've got from Amazon. I call it dirt, but it's green superfood. It's fucking dirt.
Oh, I think I've tried that. I might have tried that before.
It's so gross. Absolutely horrible. But
yeah, I was looking at your shirt. What is on your shirt? The front of your shirt.
This is Ryan Levasque, right? So
I can't really see.
Yeah, so it's Ryan Levasque, and he's wearing my T-shirt, but that wasn't intentional. So like I've got my butt group, right? Like the ass fam and all that, and I wanted a really cool T-shirt, which ended up. This is like version 2 of my T-shirt, which is like it's awesome. I'm proud of it. I think it's super fun. This is like my 10K T-shirt. Oh, these T-shirts always smell so bad when you open them. Like, here we go. So this is like a cool shirt, right? Like, look, there's a butt, 10K, all that fun stuff. Like we gave out free earlier today. But this is version 1 of my shirt. And it's Ryan Levasque, he's Stanford Brown neurologist, like, fuck that, I'm making $1 million. And he did it like 52 weeks in a row. And he bases his whole business on customer research. It's like, that's so smart. I did it. So I do it for my program and it fucking works. And I wanted a T-shirt for my ass fam. I call this T-shirt company in Miami. I was like, I want a T-shirt with a butt on it and ass fam. I'm not a T-shirt person. I don't know what it should be. You're the T-shirt person. So I'm going to pay you money. You make me a good T-shirt. And they go, okay. So they send me a picture of a butt on it, on an ass fam underneath. It's the grossest shit I've ever seen. Like, it's not even like artistic. They just like did a fucking like a paint. Like they just put on, like, there's nothing exciting to it. It's just like, it looks like something I would do. I was like, this is fucking horrible. I can't believe you guys do this. Like, make it better and make it look like this guy's shirt. So I screenshot Ryan Levasque talking. That's what this is. It's still got the play button, and I screenshot and I sent it to him. I'm like, okay, we can make that. I was like, great. I'm going to Amsterdam. Come back in 2 weeks. Make sure that shit is in my office by then. They say, fine. They're like 3 blocks that way. Come back. The shirt is there. I'm super sick. They put it on. And it's a picture of Ryan Levasque wearing the shirt that I wanted. I was like, what the fuck? Like, is this like some bad joke? Like, it's literally Ryan Levasque. It's still a screenshot with the ass fam and the butt. And I was like, wait, did this T-shirt company just send me a picture of the shirt that I wanted with the guy of the shirt that I wanted? Like, did you send me a screenshot and put it on a shirt? Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, I can't believe you did that. So I call him. I was like, hey, I got your shirt. And he was like, I hope you like it. I was like, are you sitting down? And she's like, yes. And I was like, all right, I want you to look around the office. Is there anybody in the office? She's like, yeah, there's like 4 people. I was like, okay, I want you to sit down, look at the office, and figure out who the stupidest fucking person in the room is, because this is what you did. And then I sent them the Loom video while I was still talking to him, so I could see her watching it while I was talking to him. I was like, you sent me a T-shirt of a guy wearing the T-shirt, and you sent it with the play button still on it. So I know you guys did like the least work amount possible. Like, I don't want a refund. I just want you to sit around and figure out who the dumbest person in your office is. And that was a conversation. Like, I am so mind blown about like how so many people looked at this and thought it was what like a problem where a person wanted. Like, I don't know shit about T-shirts. I had a problem. I said I wanted these 2 things on it. Figure it out. And then they fucking sent me this, and I was like, you guys are unbelievable. So I hired a different guy on the internet, based out of Morocco, that ended up doing this, and I was like, that's perfect. That's exactly what I wanted, right? Like, there's the butt, and like, it says hash fam and all that shit. But like, I wear this as like a great example of like why you have to speak something called tribal language. Like, tribal language is language that people use to describe their problems. If you're not speaking the same language, you don't fucking have any idea. And this lady was not using my tribal language. She was using her tribal language, which is like, you tell me what you want, And I'm going, I don't fucking know what I want. You're the t-shirt person. You figure it out. What's interesting is most people who run Facebook ads take that approach. They say, Mr. Johnson, you tell me what you want. Mr. Johnson's problem aware. He's got a problem in the business. He's not generating leads. He doesn't know about the solution. He's problem aware. So it's up to you as the Facebook ads person to show a path that will solve that. You have to be the solution provider, not the Facebook ads guy, not the email guy, a solution too. And so, for example, with the guy that created this, he said, Jeff, you don't know anything about t-shirts. I'm going to show you 4 or 5 designs. You pick the one that you want. And I said, deal. So he sent me one like this. I was like, that's the one that I want. He said, great. I'm going to send you 3 or 4 different t-shirts and textures. Pick the one you want. I said, great. You got it. He didn't dare ask me what I wanted. Just like we as Facebook ads agencies should not ask what our clients want. We should ask about the end result that they want, and we will help them get there. So that's like the end of that. I feel like we're getting some good 90-second chunks, So
yeah, we are. We got a lot of I know Dean just joined us. Who else just joined in? Nico's joined. Nelson joined. And Dean says, sell the solutions, not the process.
Yeah,
that's true.
Good shit.
So yeah. So actually we need to go ahead and start, closing down. I know, this is fire. Dean said this is fire. So actually, and you guys, I don't know what happened to Facebook. They pretty much promoted it out late because just a ton of people just hopped on already right when we're getting ready to shut everything down. Yes, that's kind of how it works. And usually, actually, I forgot to ask Kim this, but if you had one superpower, what would it be and why? I usually ask all my guests.
I would pick pooping money because it would be money. Like that would be my superpower. Just eat too much sushi and hundreds just shoot up my butt. That would be my fucking superpower. Like there's nothing else. Like flying or like be made of rock. Fuck you. I want to poop money. Like if that's all I did, my life would be fucking amazing. Like that.
Wow, that's pretty interesting. Where your waste would be money instead of actual excrement and waste.
And I'll bet you nobody else has dared answer like that, right? Everyone else is like, I think invisibility or like telekinesis. No, fuck you. I want to eat sushi and shit money. That's what I want to do.
That's of course he'd say that. Yeah, we're actually going to end on this note right here. Of course, after all that about the story and everything, and the T-shirt and all that, and then of course that would be the typical answer that he would give. Yep. So yes, but you guys, how can people reach you, Jeff? I mean, obviously the group. Obviously, do you have any as far as the programs? Oh yeah, and I wanted to do this too. Wanted to congratulate him. I know we talked about it before we hopped on, but just in case you guys, obviously all the value that he gave, obviously what he the value that he has, so what he's doing online and everything. But just to vouch for that, he's actually part of Andrew's Cruzy $250,000 club. What? So that's just just a side note, just to throw that in there as well. But how else can people reach out to you, Jeff?
So just join my Facebook group. It's bit.ly/butt, BUTT group in all caps. Or Michael drop like a link if you feel like it. I usually respond to PMs every now and then, so that's no big deal. Try not to tag me on stuff because I just remove it off my timeline. But yeah, if you want to join the Ask Fam movement and all that fun stuff, just join the group and we'll see you on the other side.
All right. Thanks so much, Jeff, for joining us. And actually, I can vouch that he does actually answer, DMs and, PMs, private messages and stuff, because he's hit me. I asked him a couple of questions, especially right after the conference. And he answered some of my questions and stuff. So hit him up. I know he's busy and everything, but he still does make time to view his inbox. So I do appreciate you joining. And thank you for everybody that was on here. Hashtag ABM, always be moving, and hit Jeff up. And I can drop a link in there if he wants me to. He can send it to me and all that stuff. But thanks. And if you have any questions, reach out to him, and we will see you guys on the next one. Have a good one.
Bye.